So all this conversation about tariffs, Target, the stock drops nearly 20% after earnings call falls short. Now, why is Target important? Who shops at Target?
Mainstream America.
Mainstream America. FYI, we're always at Target ourselves because, we may have money, but we kind of like to. We, like to go to Target as well or Walmart. I respect both of those places.
Save that money.
Target shares drops 18%. That's a $10 billion day that we're talking about. Okay, literally. 18%. May of 22nd, we're up third quarter, $25 billion in revenue. Missing estimates by 2.3 shares of $25.9 billion. And a market reacts. Then, Forbes story, tariffs will probably cause Walmart price hikes, CFO says. Forceful tariffs promoted by Trump would likely lead to higher prices for consumers, according to a top executive at Walmart, the U.S.'s largest company by revenue. Notable warning on the potential inflationary effects of Trump's favorable trade policy tool. There probably will be cases where prices will go up for consumers. And Walmart's chief financial officer told CNBC the impact of this prices of roughly 10% tax on all imports and 60% tax on Chinese imports backed by Trump. Tariffs are inflationary for customers. Rainey added, of course, you know which way he voted. It's not immediately clear how quickly tariffs will be implemented. The odds of 10% across the board tariffs in 2025 are low, wrote J.P. Morgan's chief U.S. economist Michael Ferroli, right? Then Ford to cut 14% of European jobs. They're worried. What the hell is going on with tariffs? It's a real thing that a lot of people are worried about. Now, Lutnick, which, by the way, Howard Lutnick, first of all, he's on fire, and the way he speaks, you'll like to listen to him. He has the ability to go and use his fire that he has, and at the same time, Rob, this is a tweet that you have, and he has the ability to reason and use math and common sense. But the way he explains the history of what happened with tariffs and how it was, then explaining Germany, how much tariffs they give us, and there's no Ford. We talked about this on one of the tariffs videos we made. This is pure common sense. Go ahead and listen to this, folks.
We can't sell a Ford or GM in Europe. You go to Europe, you can't sell a Ford or GM. Why? There's 100% tariffs. How about in Japan? 100% tariffs. So do you think if we said, we're going to tariff you the way you tariff us, do you think they're going to allow Mercedes and all these Japanese companies and Porsches and BMWs to all of a sudden have 100% tariffs in America? Of course not. They're going to come and negotiate, and their tariffs are going to come down. And finally, Ford and General Motors are going to be able to sell in these places.
How's that sound?
Of course they're going to come down. Of course. This is just negotiating.
It absolutely makes sense. If you do it strategically, if it's across the board, it creates a real problem. And the question is whether you believe the president is going to do it strategically or across the board. He keeps saying it across the board.
Well, when you're running for office, you make broad statements so people understand you. Right. Okay? Tariffs are an amazing tool by the president to use. They're an amazing tool, but he understands, don't tariff stuff we don't make. Right? If we don't make it, and you want to buy it, I don't want to put the price up there. It's pointless. But use tariffs to build in America. If we want to make it in America, tariff it. Or if we're competing with it, tariff it. But you got to remember, we need to protect the American worker. Finally, someone's going to protect the American worker. And Donald Trump is here to protect the American worker.
Do you think we make a lot of money in tariffs, or if they're used as negotiating tactics? Look, tariffs will come down there. We're not going to have super high tariffs here either. There's not going to be a big pot of money at the end of the day.
I love that story. So which is it? Do we make a lot of money on tariffs, or we bring productivity here and we drive up our workers here? So it's a win-win scenario. I like both of them. I think what's going to happen is we'll make a bunch of money on the tariffs, but mostly everybody else is going to negotiate with us, and we will be more fair. In 1948, right, we came up with something called the Marshall Plan, right? The world, Germany and Japan were destroyed after World War II, and we wanted to export our economy to them. So we made a rule. They could tariff us, and we won't tariff them. So they can rebuild.
This is the best explanation I've heard of.
So they can rebuild their economy. We rebuilt their economy using something called the Marshall Plan. Yeah. Our economy is so awesome that we'll use it to help you rebuild. When should that have ended? What do you think, 1980? Right? 1985? I mean, why 40 years are Japan and Germany and all of Europe still tariffing the heck out of our auto industry, tariffing the heck out of our furniture industry.
There you go.
Do you realize all your furniture
Right.
you're buying that's made foreign? It seems crazy. Why? It's because they tariff us and we don't tariff them. It's so obvious.
I'm with it. I am with it. Tom, go for it.
Well, common sense enters the arena. And I think people of all walks of life should listen to that and understand what's going on. And the negotiator at the table is going to be Donald Trump. And that one reporter there, Aaron Sorkin, you know, he's like, well, he keeps saying across the board. And he knows that Trump doesn't mean across the board. And he had to kind of correct him and saying, look, you're saying that during an election. And people say across the board because they want to make it sound like Trump is going to hurt us and prices are going to go up and all these things are going to happen. I'm going to get to the Walmart guy in just a second. Instead, he's out to negotiate with people so it's a fair playing field and American workers can be making cars that are bought by French citizens. And for French citizens who don't want to buy the Peugeot anymore, which is probably a good idea, maybe someday you'll be able to buy a Ford EV or a Mustang and see American ingenuity and American entrepreneurship and the American brand come to you at an affordable price. He's absolutely right. And guess what? Donald Trump is going to be the negotiator in chief, and this is going to turbocharge what's happening in the economy. Now, what are people saying? What are the liberal media saying? Your prices are going up because of Trump. Prices are going up because they're already trying to throw the peanut butter at him and see what's going to stick. But you know what? Even the guy at Walmart said, we don't really see a 10% hike coming across the board. We don't see that happen. We think the odds of that in 25 are low. But what is the headline that Forbes, owned by the Chinese, that puts up there? What is the headline? The headline is, it's going to cause price hikes. Trump's going to cause it to you. He's not even in there in a position where he can actually help, and they're already going after it. But if you haven't heard this, watch this. Have your kids in high school and college watch this.
By the way,
this is the best explanation and common sense explanation that you have, that it was American benevolence to help these companies, countries rebuild.
Here's what it is, parenting, right? I mean, the easiest way to bring it to the average day-to-day person to hear is the following. Tom, give me 5 different types of parents on how they punish their kids. Remember, when I say 5 different types, super strict. Like, imagine that same story I just gave with the 5 examples of a friend that want to go to fight the girl, the sisters, the 5 guys. You got the guy that wants to kill, the guy that wants to avoid the fight. Give me 5 types parents discipline their kids.
Okay, we'll start at the most aggressive. 1 strike, you're grounded, and they make it stick. Very let's call that the boot camp military parent. They're fair, they're not beating their kids, but it's 1 strike and you're grounded, or you sit in a corner, you have timeout or whatever. Then you get to the people, maybe it's the 3-strike people.
3-strike rule.
3-strike rule.
Yep.
Then you get to the negotiator, where you see a kid having a fit having a tantrum at Target. No, Jeremy. I'll give you ice cream.
Yeah.
The negotiator parent.
That's right.
And then you've got the threaten and do nothing. And then lastly, you've got the absent parent. There is no discipline, and they expect the schools to do it. I kind of see and by the way, Kim has educated me on 4 of these because she sees it in classrooms every day.
That's why I ask you, because you're in it every day. By the way, I would even put 1 past the 1-strike guy. Yeah. You know what the other one is? The one that punches you, hits you, sticks, ass whooping, belt, whatever you want to call it. That's the fully that one.
I was thinking boot camp, so
right. He's almost there.
No, but it's still.
We know how you were raised,
right.
Tom. There's some of us that.
But guess what?
Met the belt or the fist or the bat.
But guess what? No matter what you do, you build a reputation. And once as a parent you have a reputation, you don't need to. There's not much you can do to rebuild that reputation. Meaning, if you're tough, kids, it's not going to happen. Listen, bro, don't do it. Yep. If they can get whatever they want from you, they're like, listen, don't try to act tough. We know who you are. You're easy. You're going to give me the candy, okay? And I'm going to eat that chocolate and the ice cream. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. Just
they
negotiate
say that
with
in their head. They're saying that in their head. When it comes down to tariffs, here's how it works. Some presidents are like, look, why don't you just buy some Ford from us? And Germany says, no, but please, but no. But why don't you? Because you're a moron. And I'm tariffing you 100% and you're now doing nothing to me. You're letting me sell you BMW, Mercedes, and everything, and you're literally the worst negotiator I've ever dated in my life. And you don't have a backbone. You're weak. Got it. Then this other guy shows up. All right. Can you tell me why you tariff us 100% if we sell our cars in your country and we do nothing? Oh, it's just an agreement that we made 48 years ago.
It's a tradition.
I don't give a shit. Why do you do this? Well, listen, here's what we got. You got 30 days to lower that 100% tariff to zero and commit to buying $50 billion of our cars every year, or else we're taking it to 100%. All your cars come in here. I'm going to sell my cars in America. Quite frankly, our cars are better than yours and cheaper than yours. Screw you. What do you want to do, BMW, Mercedes? And all they're like, oh, shit. There's a new sheriff in town that I got to be careful with. This is the whole concept of pow-pow and disciplining your kids and negotiating.
Yeah.
Very simple.
You don't want pow-pow.
Some parents are like, but no, it's just a child. The guy's 12 years old. He's not a child. It's just a kid. Like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? You know at 6 years old when there's got to be some disciplines in place, right? Like right now with Brooklyn. Brooklyn knows. You know, we go to dinner, we go to Chops.
Yeah.
Well, where does Brooklyn sit?
She sits next to you.
Every time.
Yeah.
And she goes like this, Daddy, what does she say?
By the way, like right off the rip, she goes, Daddy, I'm going to eat all my chicken and all my pasta because I don't want to get pop-pop because you don't want to get ice cream at the end of this. She's negotiating before the meal. We haven't even met the waiter yet.
I know go time out.
I'm not going to go time out. I don't want pop-pop.
I know go time out. So if she goes, now we have a basic rule in our family.
The ice cream here is good.
Yeah.
I don't give the girls pop-outs. The boys, it's a different story. Yeah. Mommy gives the girls pop-outs. And it's a different story. But timeout, God forbid you put Brooklyn in timeout.
She hates it.
Oh, and I'll put her there for 15 minutes. And I'll say, you can cry for 45 minutes. I'll leave you here. I said, the moment you're done crying, I'll come back to you. So she'll go 10, 15. I'm like, Melba's like, Daddy, I gotta put baby to sleep. I said, nope, she needs to learn. 15 minutes. You ready? I'm ready. And I come. I'm like, so, are you good? Yes. Are you done? Yes. All right. Who loves you? Daddy. You going to do this again? No. All right, let's go over there. We go over there. Boom. We're good. Come back. So now she knows what happens. But you set the tone. So to me, tariffs, I'm actually excited to see what's going to be happening. I love the way Howard Lutnick broke it down. And for the people that are pro, anti, whatever position you have, just remember styles of parenting. If you're a soft parent, you probably don't want any tariffs. But if you're a tough parent because you work your ass off and you deliver a good life to your kids and you expect a little bit more than the average parent that's worried about walking on eggshells and their kids control them, you're probably going to be a guy that's going to be pro-tariffs. But that's how simple that argument is. It is a tool that we must use to bring back business here. However, there is a however, Tom. I met with my Goldman Sachs guy yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday or 2 days? 2 days ago, right? Yesterday we were in what do you call it? Orlando. And I said, so what's Goldman Sachs' position now that Trump's president? And he says, well, the last 10 years, S&P did 13%. Since 1930, S&P did 11%. I said, what does Goldman Sachs think S&P is going to do the next 10 years? He said, we're at 3 to 6% annual growth. I said, really? Why is that? He says, well, the moment Trump got elected, interest rates went up. Tom, you saw this. Yep. He says, the reason why interest rates went up is because a lot of people were worried that inflation's going to hit, inflation's not going to settle down, tariffs are going to be an issue, companies are not going to make as much profits to reinvest into the company, and we still don't know, but that was the market's reaction to it. You'll know if that's real or not within 6 to 12 months. That's how long. We'll know by about June. Would you agree, Tom, that about June or November, we'll know if it's real or not?
Yeah, we'll know. Actually, we'll know probably April and May because the Secretary of Treasury will be put in place, and we'll know about the Trump tax plan, which is the thing that he can do definitively for the economy. Right. Everything else, we kind of wait and see it shake out.
6 months. We'll know about 6 months, right? April, May. Okay. So that's the part where, you know, you have to kind of know that there is a possible, like when you are strong negotiating with somebody, until the deal is done, there is a lot of turbulence during that period. So if this tariff negotiation lasts 12 months, the economy is going to be a little bit in a shake. You know, it's going to be like shaky. But once everybody agrees with the terms 12 months from now, it's going to go like this, my opinion. But there's going to be a season of 12 months of people being worried a little bit still, Tom.
I think we really need to be very, very patient with 2025 because I'll tell you a couple moves. I've been thinking about the tariff thing ever since I saw Lutnick's video, and I'm like, wow, what a great way to put it. So BMW built a massive manufacturing plant to build BMWs in the U.S. in South Carolina. Then Mercedes built a massive plant in Alabama, right near Tuscaloosa, right on Highway 10. So as soon as Trump goes tariff, BMW and Mercedes will do furloughs or threaten layoffs of American workers in those cities because they'll want to create headline problems for Trump. And Trump can't blink. You understand? You see where this is going? He can't blink. He's got to say, no, sorry. We're going to have Fords and GM sold over there. I need these tariffs to come off. Because the German government will go back around the tree and whisper to BMW and Mercedes, hey, tell them to do that. Trump needs to get some headline risk. So we need to be patient with it because we can't blink because they will blink first. They will absolutely blink first. We got to be patient with it. Because we talked about the year of investigation and the year of prosecutions and the year of next year is going to be the year of transition in certain things in our economy. And we need to be patient and let the man negotiate and let it come down.
And Howard Lutnick was named what position? Was he the head of commerce? Is that who?
Secretary of Commerce. And I am a happy boy because I don't think they cannot confirm him.
Okay. Well, we're going to see what happens with that. But one of the things that I think this is such an important conversation because there's a lot of people out there, and I'm in business and finance, and I don't basically understand this, and I'm trying to filter it down. One of the things that Trump says that's very memorable when the PBD did the interview with him, he goes, tariffs, they're my favorite word. It's possibly better than the word love. Actually, it is. I love tariffs. I could just see him in bed being like, yeah, you like that tariff?
So dirty.
Anyway, but there is the concept, relax,
Filthy.
Tom, excuse me. There is the concept, you know how Trump's always like, we're being treated very unfairly. You know, the Republican Party since Reagan has always been known as the party of free trade. But now with Trump, it's sort of becoming the party of fair trade. We got to be treated fairly. So I want to see what happens here. And I love the explanation that you did, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and you basically said, if I send you 10 referrals, you give me 10 and I give you 100, that doesn't seem pretty fair to me. And then as it escalates, we can understand why America's been treated so unfairly. And then the Marshall Plan was in, 1948? 1948. Then there was the WTO and NAFTA all in basically the mid-90s, 94, 95. So all these things that have sort of been not sort of failing the test of time, we're going to see what Trump does to eliminate them.
You realize, if you think about, like, how many countries' economies America has helped. Just think about that for a second. For as much shit as people say about America, how many countries' economies have we helped? Okay? How many? When they came begging, how many times have we helped? It's amazing on how many we've helped. Look at that right there. The United States has provided foreign aid to over 150 countries, as well as 30 regional funds. And that's great. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about creating commerce, letting them know, hey, you may want to consider doing, and by the way, then there's a counter argument to say, dude, what if we didn't help any of those guys? What if we just focused on ourselves?
Like more of a protectionist type of mentality?
What if we went to 100% tariffs on everything that comes in and 0% taxes on the money you make? When you think about that, anything that comes in, we tariff 100%. So prices will go up. So let's just say this iPhone is $1,400 to buy.
Okay.
But if Trump and them, stay with me here, if they put 100% tariffs on anything coming out to force companies to build in America, and this phone goes from $1,400 to $2,400.
$2,800.
Let's say $2,800, okay? If it goes to $2,800, and the only reason I'm saying 24 is because there's a story that says if iPhones were made in America, it'd be worth $2,400. If it was made elsewhere, so it's an 80% increase. Okay. That's why I said $2,400. Okay. Now you may say, damn, that's a lot. But what if this shit goes up to $2,400, but you pay no taxes? So imagine you're making $100,000 a year. 30 grand goes to taxes. Now instead of making 70 grand, you're keeping 100 grand. So think about that part.
I would do that deal of no taxes all day, every day, every damn day, 24/7.
FYI, you got a Vivek, you got a Musk, okay? You got a Trump, right? You got all these guys. You got the Lutnicks of the world. You got all of these guys in the room together. If they did something revolutionary like that and they tested it for 2 years and they said, folks, 2027 is the first year where you're not paying any taxes.
Oh, wow. You know what that's called? That's called consumption tax. You pay on what you consume.
VT.
Is that a VAT tax?
VAT tax,
Yep.
VAT,
Yep.
yeah.
Value-added tax. And think of also, you should also think about this, about Europe.
Crazy.
Macleta.
Cray.
Let's think about, right. Is it safe to say that most countries in Europe, almost all of them, now have a very socialist bent and bending away from capitalist principles?
B-E-N-T.
Bent.
Like they're not bending. It's just a bent.
They're bending the knee to communism. We know
it's
that.
like the wind is blowing them towards socialism.
Bent. Right.
So
Right.
they're bending. It's just safe to say, right?
Right.
Well, for
Very
a bunch
safe.
of socialists, you sure love market share that you get artificially because of those tariffs.
Zing, Tom.
Because you take the
Zing 'em.
tariffs off and Ford and GM can compete for that market share of cars. So for a bunch of little bloody socialists, you sure like artificial market share. So you're like little closet capitalists.
I love when Tom gets fired up. I'm glad that it's not in my direction. Next thing you know, I'm going to be a little bit. But Tom,
I got a
you let him
message
know.
for the Chancellor of Commerce in Germany. Du kannst mich mal am Arsch lecken.
Oh, damn. Shots fired,
He's
you
just
freaking
talking
kraut.
You go watch the.
Ashlickens.
I know what I said. Watch the comments.
Yo, shots fired,
Tom,
bro. for
I don't
PBD
know.
Podcast.
The Jew in me got a
Chancellor.
little offended right there, but
had
whatever
nothing to do
that
with it.
was.
Let's go to even this guy here, we are excited about the Christmas season being here. The former presidential candidate that was running, Kamala, said the following thing about Christmas, and I want to tell you what happened with this hat here. Rob, play this clip.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Oh, my God.
How dare we?
Well, guess what? We're saying Merry Christmas again.
For this Christmas season, Valuetainment, we sat there, our team agreed, we're going to come out with Merry Christmas gear. Bold. FYI, we launched these 3 hats, okay, last week. These 3 hats, limited numbers that we launched, just to see how the market was going to react to it. Do you know which one sold out within seconds? This was gone in no time. There were people that bought 10 of these at a time, okay? This was gone. Right now, we have 16, 17 of these left. If nothing's been ordered right now, they can order. Rob, if you can go to vtmerch.com, specifically the Christmas season gear, if you can go there. There's some interesting scripture in the middle of these hats. For those of you that are going to church, you're going to like the scripture that's in here. If you order it, you'll see it. We have a ton of Christmas gear. Future looks bright, Christmas gear. Yesterday, I was in Orlando, walking around, looking at a couple events to possibly do an event in the future. And you know what was amazing? I saw folks wearing the Valuetainment Future Looks Bright gear, running up, PBD Future Looks Bright. I loved taking pictures, videos with them. I have in my phone right now probably 100 pictures of folks that are posting Valuetainment gear, Future Looks Bright, with kids, with families, voting, all of it. Anybody that places an order right now of the Christmas gear, you will get a free, ornament sent to you. So during Christmas, on your tree, you will have one of the best Christmas trees in the world because it's going to have the Future Looks Bright red ornament on it. So go place your gear, order specifically if you want to get one of these because this one's flying. You got the ugly sweaters. You got also some stuff for your kids, babies as well, if you want to get them a onesie. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.